So all over YouTube right now, if you're new into investing, you're seeing everyone talk about how you can own dividend stocks and receive thousands of dollars a month on dividends. It sounds easy, but it's not that easy. And there's definitely pros and cons. And I want to explain to you in this video exactly what is a dividend stock and the pros and cons in order for you to make the right decision. Now, first, let me explain to you how this all works. Let's say you purchase one of these dividend stocks. In this case, let's say Apple. Apple does pay out dividends. And Apple decides after making so much money or profits that it wants to give money away to its investors, to its shareholders. You are a shareholder of the company. Even with that one stock you own, you technically own a piece of the company. You can't walk into the building and make any changes, but technically you are an owner of the company. So the board of members will get together to have a discussion, and they'll say, to make this simple, they want to give $1 million away to all their shareholders. Now, how they're going to do that? They're going to do that by finding out how much stocks they have outstanding. So to make the math easy, if they have $1 million they want to give away and 1 million stocks, you divide that, it's $1 per share. And that's what they're gonna give out to each and every investor, and it would reach your brokerage account. Now, if you get into this, there's 3 dates that you really need to pay attention to. The first date is the declaration date. It's simply that. It's the day that they declare they're going to make these payments. The second important date is the X date. This is the date you need to be on record in order to receive the payment. Think of the X date as the execution date. You need to have executed your trade to receive this stock by a specific date. Usually it's 30 to 60 days before the X date. Just in case you catch wind of this, you can't just automatically try to buy it right when they're gonna give out dividends. And the third important date is the pay date. That's simple. That's the date you are going to receive that payment into your brokerage account. Now, the whole process sounds easy. You get money every month by just owning stocks and you get paid. So why everyone doesn't invest in dividend stocks? Well, I'm going to give you the pros and cons so you can see exactly why. Let me start with the pros of owning a dividend stock. The first pro is it is steady income. If a company usually pays out dividends, they're going to most likely do it every single year. The reason why is once they stop giving that out, then that sends a bad message out to investors that things aren't looking as great as it should be. And a lot of people will bail out, sell the stock, and the price will go down. The second pro is this. Once you receive a dividend, you do not need to take that cash and go out balling. No, you can take it and reinvest it to buy more shares. If you believe in a company, let's say in this example, Apple, as I used earlier, you might want to take the dividend and put the money back into buying more shares of Apple stock. But now, if you're older in age and you're depending on this money for retirement, by all means, you're going to want to keep it. But there's tax implications that come along with this. That's why it's very, very, very important to determine exactly what you want to do with your investing. There's 2 options you have here. If you have it in a regular brokerage account, all that growth will be taxed upon withdrawal. What I highly recommend, especially if you're someone that's thinking about retirement, or there's a rule as well that you can use here, is if you're gonna hold it for 5 years, is to put the money into a Roth IRA. If you put that money into a Roth IRA, all that growth you get in your account, in this case, the dividend that they pay you, if you decide to reinvest or keep it in the account, you will not get taxed as long as you hold it for more than 5 years. That to me is the better option, but it does depend upon when you need this money. The third pro about dividend stocks is this. If a company is offering to give dividend stocks, there's a high probability the company is doing good. You can't give away cash if you don't have cash. That's why Apple is one of the best companies by paying dividends, because they have so much cash. So much cash they want to give it away. So you will feel safe investing in a company that is consistently paying dividends. So you would never need to worry about the stability of a company like Apple. Guys, if you're getting any value from this video, I really would love it if you hit the like, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, and with your help, I will certainly get there. I really appreciate it. Let's get back to the video. Now, here are the cons. Depending on the amount of money they're paying out in dividends, you need to determine if this is sustainable. The way to find out is by using the dividend yield. I'm not trying to get too technical, but the dividend yield number is high. That's indicating the company is paying a high dividend. Now think about it. If you had your own business that you were running and you are becoming so successful in your business and you want to expand, but at the same time, you're paying all these money to investors and you're not taking that money to put it to work to build more capital and to build wealth for the investors, then in the long run, you're not going to be able to expand your company and the company will go down the drain. So strictly buying stocks with companies that only do dividends and pay high dividends, you have to be very cautious because they could be misleading you and making you think you're making the right decision. Because of course, once you start receiving money and you're receiving all this high income from owning a stock, you're gonna not wanna sell it. You're gonna think this is the best thing ever. But that is also a warning sign of a bad company. The second con is you cannot just buy it only because of the dividend. You can buy a company stock in a company you believe in. If you could get paid more on a fixed investment, let's say a high yield savings, now they're up to 5%. If you get more money in investing in that, I would recommend you do that rather than investing in a company just strictly for the dividends. Because your dividend payment might not be more than, let's say, a CD or a high yield savings or a money market account or some treasury bills. It could become a lot less. So you definitely need to do your research and make sure if you're gonna invest in this, it is giving you a higher return than any other fixed investments that are out there. Another con, and this is the most important, the dividend stocks are not always guaranteed. Just because you are getting it today does not mean the company can change its mind and stop giving out dividends. As I said earlier, it doesn't indicate the company is in stress. It could simply mean they're trying to make some investments into some other parts of the business that they're trying to expand to bring you more value. But if you're not in line with their vision and all you care about is receiving these dividend payments, then that's something you need to be very cautious about. And of course, as always, the biggest con to this is the taxes. You need to understand any income you earn within your investments are taxable. Unless, as I stated earlier, you put that within a Roth IRA and you hold it for 5 years. If you hold it for 5 years, there's no implications. But of course, if you withdraw your money before that, you will get taxed on your capital gains. So you really need to be cautious before you make that decision. So overall, dividend stocks is a great investment. It truly is, but you need to be very careful when you start watching these YouTube videos where thinking if you just invest in this, you're gonna become rich and everything is great. There's always pros and cons to everything you do, and it's really not that simple. As I was saying earlier as well, if a company's giving you $1 a share, that's pretty high. And if it's a company like, let's say, Apple stock is extremely expensive. To get enough shares of Apple to get a decent amount of income off of dividends, that's not what your value is gonna be. What you're gonna make is the value of owning Apple stock. So as always, take caution whenever you decide to choose what to invest in. And I hope this video really helped you and make a great decision about investing in dividend stocks.